Good morning, buenos dias. My name is Mike Gipson. I serve as a California State Assembly member, proudly representing the 65th California State Assembly District. California is known for its standing up on behalf of all Californians. California to be the state that pushes for better quality and better access for opportunities for all of our students. California can be the example to others to show support for local communities towards better tomorrow. Trump has a divisive mission. We have seen it time and time again. He has been on a trail to get rid of resources that has benefit underserved communities for representation nearly across the board, taking away resources, vital resources across the board. But California is better than that. And California is committed to provide resources to and towards education, robust education, making sure that we have investment in our communities. This year, I have submitted a state-funded request of $75 million to support California's Black Serving Institution Grant Program. While it has not been included in the state's budget as of now, I am fighting for inclusion before it today. I am fighting to make sure that we have the necessary resources for Black serving institutions, with the hope of funding to help support African Americans and other underserved students. According to the National Center for Educational Statistics, Black students have historically been underserved. Black students have historically been underrepresented on college campuses, with data showing Black students' enrollment declining by 22%, 600,000 between 2010 and 2020. Black and African American students experience higher rates when it comes to food insecurities and housing insecurities. What that means is that students on campus are going hungry. What that also means is that students going not only food insecurities, but also housing insecurities right here in California. California being the fourth largest economy, there's something wrong with that picture. While this information may be shocking to so many, I know that there are some here that have either experienced insecurity in themselves and knowing someone who are still going through that insecurity. The funds that would provide for vital academic support for California's designated Black serving institution, within the last 2 years, this gap in 4 years, the graduation rate has increased from 22% to 25% between Black and white students in California state universities. With this appropriation, we would have the opportunity to empower these institutions to expand resources like academic counseling, tutoring, mentoring programs, and other supportive services. These are vital resources that our students need right here in California. All of these designations will enhance outcomes for our students to attend these institutions right here at home to support our students. These funds will be vital. These allocations to California's universities and college campuses are vital to meet the critical needs, and to apply these grants will help these students meet the challenges right here at home. These grants will bridge the gap for opportunities for our students at home to achieve student success in vital areas for student achievement. This investment will ultimately align itself with California's broader goals for reducing racial economy disparities and also ensure economic achievement in terms of education here at home, right here in California. We cannot have two Californias where we have students achieving and students not achieving. We need to have one California where all students achieving. We cannot have two Californias. We need to make sure that we have students, all Californias, where all Californians are achieving. Now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce someone who really needs no introduction. I'm happy to bring up Dr. Keith Curry, who represents Compton Community College, a college in which I represent, and that is Dr. Keith Curry. Dr. Keith Curry.
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Assemblymember Gipson for championing the California Black Serving Institution grant program on behalf of the four-year college university of the state of California, and also on behalf of California community colleges. Assemblymember Gipson, with your leadership, we have been able to get to this point. We're having conversations about funding to support colleges to do this work. I've been around and involved in higher education for over 20 years. I've been a CEO at Compton Community College District for over 14 years. And what I've learned over these years is that budgets are statements of values. And at the end of the day, as we move forward to work with the student population that we currently serve, we have to have fundings to support the work that we need to do. It's hard being a community college president. And what I mean by it's hard being a community college president, it's hard because our students have many challenges, which Assemblymember Gipson outlined very well, regards to the support that they need, as it relates to basic needs, but also the academic support that they need in order to complete their degree or certificate at a community college or at a four-year college or university. But it's even more of a struggle for our Black students within the state of California. Now is the time for us as leaders to step up and be unapologetic about the needs of our students. It's important for us to continue to listen to our students and also to advocate for our students. I'm here today because I'm an advocate for our students at Compton College, but also an advocate for our students nationally, at the state of California and also nationally. I also serve as the co-chair of Black Student Success Week, which is an event that happens every single year in the month of April. And this year's theme was Lift Up, Level Up, the Rise of Black Serving Institutions. People are excited in the state of California about the Black Serving Institution designation. This provides an opportunity for us to recognize institutions that are doing good work to support underserved students, including but not limited to Black and African American students on their campuses. It provides us an opportunity to transform our institutions to support all students, but particularly Black students on our campus. And what I mean by transform, that means colleges are working together, individuals at colleges are working together to figure out solutions to support their students. That means you're eliminating silos within that organization, where you normally see how many students you have. If you have 30, 60 Black students in a particular program, now you're talking about the whole school having conversations about what can we do differently to support our students, not just on the support services side, but also on the academic side. And we want to see more of our students complete their degree or certificate in a timely manner. But the Black Serving Institution designation and the grant program are two of the same, right? So now we're able to designate the designation for colleges, but colleges need money to be able to do this work. And again, budgets are statements of values. I urge the governor and also the Senate and the Assembly to really consider the language that was included in Assembly Bill 335 as it relates to Black Serving Institution grant, to utilize that language and also provide funding to support Black Serving Institutions. And what that's going to help us do as we move forward, it helps us continue to work, but also gives people that's doing the work, that gives them a little bit of an edge to be able to continue to say, you know what, we're not just doing it by ourselves, but also we're not doing it with no money. Because at the end of the day, new resources and give us the opportunity to create new programs for our students. And once again, I'd like to say thank you to Assemblymember Gipson for all your work as it relates to Black Serving Institutions and also Black Serving Institution grant program. And I'd like to say thank you for championing this legislation, but also just being a dear friend and colleague who understands the needs of our students. And right now, we need legislators and elected officials to continue to advocate for our students, especially when the federal government and you have limited resources that are coming from the federal government. We have to make sure that we continue to prioritize our students. And at the end of the day, Budgets are statements of values. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Curry. Next, we'd like to bring up Dr. B.J. Snowden, the lead of the CSU Black Student Success Center.
Thank you, Assemblymember Gipson and President Curry. I really just want to echo the excitement that the field has shown for the Black Serving Institution designation, and let you know that as the application process is in its current first round, we have over 40 institutions that have applied across the state. This is a clear signal that Black serving is an important element to student success for many of the colleges and universities across the state. And this designation and the grant program would only help to strengthen the work that the colleges and universities in the state are doing to support all students, and particularly Black students in this work. So again, thank you for your work and your contribution to this legislation, and I appreciate the opportunity to support.
You know, I want to say thank you very much to both these gentlemen for coming, these great leaders in this in the educational realm as leaders in this space. This is very important that we certainly press on the governor and also the legislature to include the $75 million for the Black Serving Institution. This grant program is vital that with what's going on in the federal government, that we get the $75 million for the grant program into this year's budget. These resources and this investment is absolutely critical to moving forward. It is really important that we make this investment, this robust investment into this program so that we can make sure that these Black serving institutions receive these resources so that we can really see the increasing of education, but also, as I indicated, we need to make sure that that the insecurity, the food insecurity, the housing insecurity is met, these resources are used to making sure that that these institutions continue to be able to serve people of color, students of color, so they can meet their educational goals. So with that, we thank you very much for coming out. We're here to take any questions if you have them.
I actually do. Maybe Dr. Curry or the other gentleman can answer this. What does the grant program currently entails? Because it seems like there's a lot of Black individuals out there that need this type of help from the study. So I just want to know if you can detail what it will do to help them. I know you mentioned the aspect of food and housing and things like that. So
mentorship program, tutoring program, as I indicated, these are all resources in which these institutions that qualifies, the application program that these institutions that meets Senator C. Bradford laid the foundation in his work when he was here, that these institutions will qualify. Once they qualify, it's an application process, and the money that goes, that hopefully we can get into this year's budget, once hopefully it's approved in this year's budget, that it sets up these programs for tutoring, for other programs that student needs once they go to a community college and also a university. And these are programs that these students need in order for achievement while they're there. You want to elaborate, Dr. Curry?
And just to take this to another level, and I appreciate Senator Gibson's comments, but if you look at the federal government in regards to some of the other designation programs, and they have great opportunities, but the legislation and it was provided was really groundbreaking, which included a basic grant that any college that received the designation will receive up to $250,000, and then also a supplemental portion of the grant opportunity as well, where you'll be able to apply for funds, and it can be designated by the governing board as it relates to needs. So for example, Senator Gipson mentioned, if you want to address basic needs, you can be able to provide a special grant that the 40 colleges that receive the designation could apply for, that could really be focused on basic needs, and it could be innovative basic needs. So for example, at Compton College, all of our students receive 1 meal per day at our cafeteria. No other community college in the country is doing the type of food program that we do at our campus. They receive 1 meal per day. But also we provide $20 at the farmer's market for all students. But what we've noticed is that most Black students, the majority of our Black students are taking advantage of those opportunities. So really giving us the opportunity to be creative through the grant program, where colleges can think outside the box, how you can service all students under a supplemental grant, but you also receive a basic allocation of up to $250,000. That provides additional resources for the additional work that you're doing to do whole school transformation, not just for one particular area of the campus. Thank you.
Yeah,
Please.
yeah, to echo Dr. Curry's point, it is an opportunity for colleges and universities to be creative in the ways that they serve students. So any student any institution that will be awarded the Black Serving Institution designation would then qualify to apply for the grant program.
And again, I also want to explore not only the food that Dr. Curry had made mention, also mentorship programs. They can also get mentorship services and also tutoring programs. Because when kids come in from high school graduating, you need mentor and also you need tutoring programs as well. And so those are also very vital services in which they can receive going into a 4-year and also a community college program setting.
Good.
Mr. Gipson, if I may, just brief remarks from each of you, if you don't mind. Is this money more critical because of the Trump administration's continued attacks on education?
That's correct.
Thank you.
The money is critical because we have seen the disparities as relates to African American and Black student success for decades. The money is needed if you look at the enrollment decline, as Assemblymember Gipson mentioned, from 2010 to the present. The money has been needed for decades, but now it's even more urgent that the money is needed because the federal government policies and also funding is being reduced in higher education. So it's very important to understand the historical context in regards to funding for Black and African American student success, but then also know that now is even more, that we have to double down the work that we're doing to support our students because we're getting additional cuts. So we have to be unapologetic and at the forefront to say, historically, the funding has not been good, but now we're concerned about, it's critical with this current administration and what we can do to support our students. So it's very important that we receive additional funds to support underserved students, including but not limited to Black and African American students.
I would just like to echo, I think it's more critical and more vital now than ever before because of the Trump administration doing everything they can to roll back a time where, by which education is under attack more so than ever, especially when we look at these institutions that serving students of color and the attack on students of color. So that you look at the institutions and all the grant programs that was created 60 years ago that target and to benefit students of color, and how the threats and the attacks and the clawbacks that this administration is doing. Why these funds are more important, that's why California is better than that, and that's why we're calling upon our state government, our legislation, our government, and our governor to do everything they can to allocate the $75 million in this year's budget to weather the storm of this administration, to stand up in a large way, to be an example for other states to support these kinds of very robust investments, to show that California will be the example for other states and supporting our students, especially students of color.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.